So someone asked the other day hey, does Valve still need people of your limited skill set there? So let me explain how I got to be the guy in this meme of I've got Dario, Chet, and Garry with me. Garry. Garry. Yeah, I heard it. I was laughing. But hang on a minute here. Let's explain this. There's a reason I'm in that picture, and there's a reason I was on stage accepting with everybody else the award for Game of the Decade or whatever. I solve problems. So, like, a lot of times people are like, "Hey, I want to make it at Valve. Like, I'm going to send the best cover letter or whatever. Just make cool stuff. Just do good work. Be somebody people want to work with." So in this case, at 3 p.m. on, like, I think it was like a Friday or something, the front desk calls me up, and the woman working is like, "Hey, I've got a problem. We're going to win this award tonight. And there's going to be a private jet at 5 p.m. that is going to pick you guys up and fly you down there because it's the only way you're going to get there on time. While there's the original because for the original Half-Life, or maybe it was Half-Life 2, whatever. But like the original group is ready to go. That group's set, but we need to bring more people. Who should we bring? And I'm like, well, if that's the old guard, let's bring the new guard, like the new faces of Valve. And so let's go out. And so I just went around everybody like I always do. I don't email people. I go walk up to them like, hey, we're doing this. You got to be ready by this time. Can you make it? Most people could. Most people have families or something they already have, promised or whatever. So we finally get the plane filled. It's 20 people. We go down. We fly down. And the promise is there's food there. So we're like, okay, we'll eat when we get there. We land. We get there. There's a delay with the cars to get us there. It wasn't my fault. I was not the person who chose that, but that's fine because it's not the person who chose his fault either. It's just the car company's fault. But so we get there late. They've already pulled the food. And they're like to Gabe, hey, will you walk the red carpet? And Gabe's like, no, unless everybody can walk the red carpet. And they're like, no, we're not going to have 20 people walk the red carpet. That's silly. And Gabe's like, well, then I'm not going to do it. And I always remember that because that was like such a great, like, hey, no, we're not paying lip service to this idea. This whole team made it. We really mean it. And so I always appreciated that. And so we get the award, go up. Dario accepts it, and there's a bunch of people who have been at Valve for a really, really long time who've done way better things than I ever have, but they just don't normally speak or go in front of the camera. But so we're going backstage, and they're like, hey, this person wants to interview Dario, and Gabe's going to come along. Hey, Chet, like, go with them. Just if there's something bad happens, be the ripcord, just pull it. I've done this before. I've actually, one of the Steam Dev days, had to go up and be like, come off the stage, you're losing it. You're going a little crazy. I know this, because I know when I'm a babbling idiot, right? So I can sense this in other people. And Dario's doing absolutely perfect, and me and Gabe are just cracking up the whole time over this, because whatever. It doesn't matter. And then the only thing we had to eat, though, this whole event, because we're kind of sloshed here, is drinks with olives in them. It was all we could get. But as we're leaving, I'm like, oh, we'll stop and get like In-N-Out or something. I hate In-N-Out, by the way. It is not a good burger. It's just because it's limited, you guys think it's special. It's not. But I know the kids like it, so we'll go to In-N-Out. But Gabe's like, no, I got it covered. Ends up, you can get food catered to your private plane. I don't know these things. And it was pretty lousy food, though. So we actually got food and drinks afterwards, and that was all fine. And then we hit the other weird thing of the night. It's like 2 days later, Rolling Stone magazine, back when they were again trying to be in games, like every so often they do this. They have this article of like the disappearing of women in games or something like that. It's talking about how women aren't represented in the game development side. And the picture they use is the picture of us accepting the award on stage. One problem. There are women on the stage. They've just cropped them from the photo. Because they're using a photo now, to be fair to them, they just searched on Getty Images and found this game developer photo, and we're like the first one. And the first image is cropped, and it's just got the guy's side of it. It doesn't have, there's an animator over here. Like, and there's a bunch of different people over here. And this isn't diversity for diversity's sake. There's a bunch of different people who work at Valve of different ilk, and we just wanted to have them up on stage because, like, originally, it was all just male dominated, and so we wanted to mix it up a little bit. That was my choice. Nobody told me to do that. There was no secret agenda. I just wanted to do that because I thought, hey, well, first of all, it looks nice on stage, and two, these are the people who are really doing a lot of work here now. Right? It is diverse, right? There's some really smart people. There's some really smart women engineers who just couldn't make it because they just had a kid and they had to go home to their kid because they liked their kid. Where the bunch of dudes, Hey, my wife will take care of that or whatever. I don't know. But look, this is what we had on stage. But we had a woman on stage and they crapped her out. So I'm like, come on, come on. And she's like, oh, you're right. Okay, let me talk to my editor. And their editor was like, nah, we'll go with it. And they just left it. It's so aggravating. Oh, it's so aggravating. I mean, I get it, but I don't. Like, that was just lousy to do. Because it was a fun night. It was a good night. It was a good memory. It was a weird, like, just sitting in your office at 3 p.m. and getting a call, and then, ending the night flying on a private jet back to Seattle. Everything won some kind of award of the decade. Not, I didn't win it, like everybody won it, you know what I'm saying? But it was also just a really good reminder of, like, just solve problems. People look to me that day of like, hey, help. And I'm like, all right. And it's not that I really know what I'm doing, but I confidently move like I do know what I'm doing, and that helps. And then also just admit, I don't know. You can cater to a private jet. How do I know that? I don't know that. I'm not a fancy man. Still, I can't believe how bad the food was. Like, I've had better. The cheese plate on Alaska Airline is better. That was kind of shocking. But it really was a fun night. And it was fun being in the meme. And it did crack me up. But so, weird jobs I've had at Valve. There you go. Wrangling people to accept an award where I don't actually ever say anything the entire night because it's not about me. It's a job.